and welcome to the Golden Age of Cinema. I'm Paul Eastman. Thank you for joining me for another look at a classic film from the Golden Age of Cinema. Today we will look at a 1933 pre-code Hollywood film called The Bitter Tea of General Yen. This is a very unique and interesting film, directed by Frank Capra, and that alone is very interesting. Now we think of Frank Capra as in these all-American films with Jimmy Stewart, Gary Cooper, It's a Wonderful Life, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, Meet John Doe, It Happened One Night. Yet we have this film that is set in China about an interracial love affair between a Christian missionary and a Chinese warlord. So this is a very different type of film from Frank Capra, and it's been known that this is one of his most favorite films. This film is based on a 1930 novel of the same name, and it stars Barbara Stanwyck and Niels Astor. Very interesting actor. He's Swedish, yet he's playing a Chinese warlord, and we know that's what they did back in the classic cinema. They had non-Asian actors playing Asian characters. It was a controversial film because it deals with interracial romance, and that was a taboo subject even in this pre-code era of Hollywood that looked at a lot of taboo subjects. So it did not do well at the box office, but it has kind of become a cult classic, and it has fantastic photography and dramatic sequences. Now let's take a look at our two movie reviews for this film. Let's first look at Leonard Maltin's review. He gives it 3.5 stars. He says, may seem antiquated to modern audiences, but Capra's sensuous story of American woman's strange fascination with a Chinese warlord is still dazzling. A moody, beautifully atmospheric, sensitively performed film. That's a good, I agree with that. It's quite sensitive between these two characters. Great cinematography. Now let's look at Leslie Hollywell's review. He says, an American lady missionary in Shanghai is captured by a Chinese warlord and falls in love with him. Arty, miscegenation story, which means interracial, which bids fair to become a cult film and certainly has a number of interesting sequences. He gives excellent direction from Frank Capra. Film chosen to open. Yeah, that's another thing. It was the first film that they showed at Radio City Music Hall. And it did not do well. They pulled it after 8 weeks, I believe. Now our story, it takes place during the Civil War in China, led by the Republic of China and against the Communist Party. And the plot of this is the Barbara Stanwyck character is the fiancée of an American missionary, and she goes to Shanghai to meet him, to get married there. And this happens during a military revolution, and she is captured while they are going to to save a group of orphans, and General Yen rescues her and takes her to his summer palace. And it is here that she is kept there, and this interesting relationship evolves between her and General Yen. And that's the basis of the story. Now, let's look at some of the themes of this story. The West has always had a fascination with the exotic Far East. And we never really quite understand China and the rest of the Far East. So this is another story about that. And really another theme is the value of human life, how that is different at least at this time, in the East and the West. China is basically an atheist country, and as we know, West is mostly a Christian country. So there's been, missionaries for ages have tried to spread the word of Christianity, and we see that in this film, along with the theme of the interracial love affair, and then it looks at the mysterious attraction between East and Westerners. And in this film, we have a white woman that is attracted to an Eastern warlord man, and that's what is played out in this film. We'll look at a couple clips here. Now, this first clip is at the beginning of the film, and it is when Barbara Stanwyck, she is just arriving, and she runs into General Yen. And it's quite telling and a very interesting statement by General Yen. Let's take a look at that now.
Miss Davis! Please! Come on! Miss Davis!
You've run down my rickshaw, boy!
Yes.
Oh, hello. Monsieur, c'est un miracle que vous n'ayez pas tué. Pourrais-je demander voir vos passeports, s'il vous plaît?
Mais certainement. Très bien.
Merci, monsieur.
That Chinaman in the car doesn't seem to care much, but it was his fault. Aren't you going to send for an ambulance? Is he badly hurt? Aren't you going to do anything for that boy? He may be dying.
If so, he is very fortunate. Life, even at its best, is hardly endurable.
How can you be so unfeeling? What kind of a man are you, anyway? Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you want a handkerchief?
In this second clip, we have Barbara Stanwyck's fiancé is interested in saving this group of orphans, and it's his wedding night, and he doesn't care. It's more important that he saves his children, and he goes to General Yen to get approval and a pass so he can get to where he's going. And we see that how General Yen's his view on the orphans and why he would do this while it was his wedding night, and how surprised about that he is. And so you see the conflict. They just don't understand each other. Let's take a look at that now.
Oh, Dr. Stike, my old friend.
I'm sorry to intrude like this, General, but it's a matter of the utmost importance.
Naturally, everything you do is important.
I want a safe conduct pass to Chappé.
What on earth do you want to go there for? That's in Inferno.
That's why I must go. Our orphanage is between the lines. The children are in danger, and we've got...
Oh, orphans. What are they, anyway? People without ancestors? Nobody. Please sit down, Doctor. I'll get you a glass of wine.
General, you don't understand,
And
though.
later on, we will be entertained by some sing-song girls. Say, Doctor, have you never been curious about sing-song girls,
General, will you please give me that pass?
Look here, Doctor. I'm not supposed to be in Shanghai. If my name is seen on the pass, it will do me great harm with the foreign authorities.
If you don't give me that pass, General, I'll tell the foreign authorities you're here.
Here's to your very good health, Doctor.
General, I think the boys are about ready to talk turkey on those provinces now.
Oh, why bother me with affairs of state when I have orphans to consider?
Oh, hello, Doc. How's the missionary racket? Say, I heard you were thinking getting married tonight.
Yes, I postponed it to come here.
What? You mean to say that you left the prospect of a beautiful woman's loving arms for some nameless brats? Certainly hope she never finds that out.
Please write that pass, General.
Able to read Chinese yet, Doctor?
Not yet, General.
This was quite a big budget film for Columbia, a very daring film at the time, and it has a fantastic finale, and it's pretty short. It's about 87 minutes, very entertaining. It's fast moving, and it's quite well written for this time. Looking at these themes, East and West, and Christian missionaries and the challenges they faced in China. My final rating on this will be a 3.5 stars. It's not a 4-star film for me. It seems a bit fragmented in that it's just some of the themes are not fully fleshed out and realized. So there's a bit of an aloofness to it with the Barbara Stanwyck character, and also you have these dream sequences that are very interesting. That some people might like that instead, but I wanted to see these feelings and emotions played out between the characters. So those are my only complaints about the film. Other than that, I was really surprised at how good it was. I think it's one of the best pre-code Hollywood films. Thanks for joining me, and that will wrap up this episode of the Golden Age of Cinema. I'm Paul Eastman, and thank you for joining me again, and I'll see you next time as we look at another classic film from the Golden Age of Cinema.